Hey, this is Mr. Flewelling,
And Mr. Clamo.
and we're going to talk to you about the projects in physics. So these count as your midterms. Instead of you taking a midterm test, we have you doing the projects. But the big idea is we want you to engineer something, and we want you to show us the physics principles that you learned in this particular case for vectors, position, velocity, acceleration, 1 and 2D kinematics. Normally we do this in groups, but because of COVID, this is going to be individual. And the way the project works is we will normally give you three different options: a baby bear, a mama bear, and a papa bear project. So as you go, they get harder and harder. The baby bear would be the easiest, the papa bear would be the hardest one. And but because of COVID again this year, some of those there may not be a baby, a mama, and a papa. It might be a baby and two mamas, or two babies and a mama. Just kind of all depends. So Mr. Klamer is going to tell you here in a second about what the video project is.
So the first project we're going to talk about here is the video here, and that's a baby bear project. So baby bear projects actually get a one-time score multiplier. So projects here are scored out of 50 points. So the one times multiplier means that your project's worth out of 50 points. So the goal for the video here is to design an educational and entertaining video that describes vectors and kinematics. Now the video here, it doesn't have to be a theatrical length performance. It only needs to be 3 to 5 minutes here. The beginning of your video needs to be personalized with the title and your name here because we need to know you. We don't want to hire people and professionally you do the video. It just wants to be you. And we want you to video into YouTube once you're done. So we want you to upload it to YouTube and share the link for us once the due date comes for the project. Now, each of the projects here actually has a research option. So the research option for the video here is to create a storyboard. Now, a storyboard is to create your video, but on paper form. So it's to create the scenes, your transitions, your script, and how you want to create your video so that when you're time for you to record your video, you just follow the script and make your video process and recording much easier.
So the second project option that you have is to do an Evel Knievel toy jump. And Evel Knievel was a gentleman who did the motorcycles where he would ride down the ramps and jump over all the buses. What you're going to do is you're going to build a miniature setup of that using maybe a Hot Wheels or some other car that's on wheels for that. So you have to design and build the ramp, have the thing that the object that the car is going to jump over at the end of the ramp, and it has to land on another ramp or in a net at the end of that. So your vehicle has to start a minimum of 1 meter above where the ramp jump is. The car comes down the ramp and then lands on another ramp or in a net. In the end, then you're going to show us all the math. That is the how you place the net or the other end of the ramp. You're going to take pictures to show us that you actually made it and you're not using a previous year's Evel Knievel setup. And then you're going to video your car successfully jumping this gap. And in the video, describe the steps that you took in order to get your car to do this. So what did you change? What did you modify? What did you fix to make it better? The research then for this, you're going to pick one of the two. Don't pick both of them. What training do stuntmen and women need? Write a short essay describing whether you would consider becoming one, and then be sure to show what you learned in your research as well as justify why you chose that. Or you're going to research famous professional stunts and compare those stunts to determine what did you think was the most dangerous, what was the most entertaining, what was the most interesting. And in the end, you're going to learn a little bit more about the stunt type of people that go with that.
So the last project is actually our mini catapult here. So the goal for this one is to design and build a mini catapult or trebuchet here that's actually going to launch mini marshmallows or chocolate chips. So the size reference for this one actually is we're going to talk about it, fit inside a shoebox. Now, we didn't specify the size of the shoebox, so just use your friend's shoebox, not like go find a giant, abominable snowman size shoebox or anything. So your trebuchet here, catapult, has to have an arm and a pivot point. Please do not use a ballista or a crossbow or a slingshot. Please, that's a 50% deduction in your score, and nobody likes an F. And so in this case here, also, please, you're not allowed to use any disposable plastic silverware. Excuse me. I get excited about this here. So the whole point of this here is the action is to place a target, preferably the shoebox, somewhere away from your catapult, calculate how far your catapult's going to shoot, and launch the mini marshmallow into the shoebox or target. Again, like the Evel Knievel project, you're going to take pictures here while you're building it, and you're going to video yourself, your projectile successfully hitting the target, and in the video describing the steps you took to get your catapult to work. Why did you do what you did? What steps you had to do in order to correct, if anything went wrong. Did you have to adjust the launch angle? Did you have to replace the physics arm? Did you have to adjust your X to Y displacement angles or whatever? And so for the research, in this one, you do what we call a raft writing. So raft writing here is what we call role, audience, format, and topic. And so for this one here, you have to either choose the role of a circus clown, King Arthur, or a football. And according to the role here, you get to choose, and then according to your audience, your format, and the topic. So if you're the circus clown, you get to write to your mom in the form of a letter saying, I'm safe when I get launched out of the cannon because, and you get to write the letter. If you're King Arthur, you get to write to the Knights of the Round Table as an owner's manual about how to get the most out of the catapult. No coconuts not included. If you're the football, you get to write to the quarterback as a confession here. Is like, when you throw me, especially when we beat Lake Central in football.
So looking at the projects again, remember that the Baby Bear project is going to be 100%, and the Evil Knievel and the mini catapults are going to be Mama Bear projects, which means they're 105%. So if the whole project, the project part of it itself is worth 50 points, then the Baby Bear will be worth 50 points, and on the Evil Knievel and the mini catapult, you have the chance to get up to 52.5 points for that. Now, due dates. Your sketch is going to be due on Tuesday, the 29th. Your research will be due the week after that, Tuesday, the 6th. Your launch date on the actual day your video is due will be due the Tuesday after that, which will be the 13th. And then your lab write-up is due on the 14th, which is a Wednesday, and that's the week before fall break.
In terms of grades here, the first grade is actually going to be our sketch here, and that's worth 10 points. And the sketch tells us essentially who you are and which project you're doing. The next one here is the research. That's worth 20 points, and those are described as, underneath each of the individual projects in the article in Buzz. And then the launch day, that is a rubric here. You can read it here, or you can look at it in Buzz. I'm not going to go through it. That's too long. Do note, though, however, that the projects do, however, have a picture proof. So, you do need to help take pictures during your process of building. So if you don't do that, we do have the option of taking, points away. We don't like that. Please don't make us do that. And then the lab right up here, that's worth 40 points. We'll give you more details as we come closer.
Okay, so just as a quick summary, whenever we look over the project, you have 3 possible projects: the video, the Evil Knievel, and the mini catapult. And be aware that each one of them is worth a different amount of, like the same amount of points, but you can get extra credit for the Evil Knievel and the mini catapult.
And so don't forget also that, each of them has a research component. Now, some of them may have one research component, some of them may have multiple. You only have to do one research component for each of the project options, and you only have to do one project.
And then be sure to check over the due dates. They're on this cover sheet, and those due dates will be put into Buzz, also into the Buzz assignments for each of those that you are submitting.
As well as make sure you're following the rubric. If you have any questions about the rubric, please reach out to your teacher, ask questions, use the Remind app. That's what we're here for, to make sure you gain your points that you deserve.
Good luck. Do well on it.
Mm-hmm.